Alrighty, back with yet another Paragon video for you today. As promised, this one is going to be on basically building decks, what you want to do as far as just stuff for any character. It doesn't really matter who the character is, how you want to build your decks and structure your decks, especially if you're new players. Basic tips. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to say against Scorch. He's got a really good, and before I do that, oop, yeah, I definitely don't want to do that. Alright. Now, every character comes with not only starter decks, but intermediate decks. And if you've already created a deck, you can always select that to start from as well. I like to start from scratch, but if you're needing a little bump in what do I put, or I just want to change a few things in a deck, I really like the way this deck is, but I just want to change a few things, you can always do that. And it'll tell you what it's more geared towards. So see, this one says caster, energy damage. That means you're going to be throwing out your abilities more, and it's going to focus on energy damage. You can see it's got 50% of the cards are geared towards that energy damage, 16% are geared towards defense or things like movement. I guess just defense. I think that's all it counts. And then utility is like your health regen, mana regen, max mana, things like that. I think health is considered a defense as well. You know what? We can actually see it here. So we'll go with that in a second. But you can see, you know, how much of anything is in a deck if you want to use it. One was geared towards assassin. That means you're going to be going for kills more. Caster is just going to be trying to push the lane more, not really worrying about those kills. You get the idea. Now, as your prime card, it's really all in what you want to do. All of them give you bonus cleave damage. That's the thing that they all give. One gives physical damage, one gives energy damage, and then one gives health. The thing that you need to be looking for is which passive you want. Max health to minions, 300 plus 300% damage versus structures to minions, and 100% damage versus minions to minions. So basically, if you're sitting in a tower, your tower is going to be doing more damage to minions. If you're around a group of your minions, they're going to have 500 more health, and unique passive of 100% damage versus minion to minion. So your minions are going to be doing more damage to the enemy minions. I always go with the Centurion. I'm usually pushing lanes, so I like my minions to have that more health. Could definitely go with that one as well for that. However, I have to be a physical damage character. I have to be an energy damage character for that one. This one is kind of your basic all around. It doesn't matter who you are. Plus you get that added health, so if someone jumps on you, you can try and tank their shots a bit more. Now your early game, no matter what character you are, no matter what affinity you are, you're going to want to start with your 1 costs. Too many times I see people not. Now, it does not mean potions, and it does mean potions. Basically, if you're Grux, you're not going to want to put on a mana potion. Be smart about it. You can put on a quick barrier token and guard token, and then put on, say, harvester key, or whatever. Actually, an Iggy Scorch is going to want a ward. So if you're a jungler, you might want to start out with a harvester key and a ward, and then go with, you know, maybe an elixir to give you that sustain. If you're going to be in a lane, you might want to go with the barrier token and the guard token, and then give yourself a ward so that you can see where you're at, where the enemies are at, not get ganked, things like that. Now for a ward, you're going to want to quickly place it near either the black buff or close to the entryway of the Orb Prime. And that's going to give you enough time that when you see that somebody's passed in that area, you can get out back to your tower. A lot of people just throw it at the edge, the shadow pool right there at the edge. By the time that they see it, oh, it's too late. They've jumped on me anyways because they're in travel mode. I've been hitting minions. I'm still hitting minions. It took me a minute to register it. All that. Make sure it's in the jungle just a little bit. You don't even have to go that far, but enough that gives you that time to get out. And you're going to want to stick with that. And then use your second points to gain, your little bit of attack, or if you're a ranger, you're going to want to attack. So attack and attack speed. Things like, where is it? There it is. Madstone Gem is a good example of a card you're going to put on. Most affinities are going to have 3 costs, but it's going to give you that damage and that attack speed that you're going to need as a ranger. If you're a caster, you're going to want something like cooldown reduction, extra mana to start out with. And then if you're a melee, you're going to want, again, attack speed and attack, maybe some health, or some type of sustain. Since you actually have to get in, you can't just shoot from afar. You're going to want some sustain, like this is a really good one to give you damage resistance and attack speed. Things like that you're going to want to find. And then you're going to want to upgrade one card fully. Just upgrade it. So whatever you decide to go with, upgrade it. So if you decide Urigian Scorch, you're going to go with the Madstone Gem. And let's find a better card. Urigian Scorch. Alright, we'll go with Chronomancer Disc. For Urigian Scorch, you're going to go with Chronomancer Disc. You're going to put on mana, say 2 mana, and then an energy damage, and you're going to get a fully upgraded bonus of cooldown reduction, be able to throw out things faster. Now you strengthened your basic attack just a little bit, and you strengthened your ability to cast your, not only cast your abilities more, but cast them more often, faster. Now, I usually do 2-2-2, get you that start, so that you're ahead of everybody else. You get that fully upgraded bonus faster, and then you can maybe move into a bigger card as your second one. Alternatively, if you were to go with, say, Urigian Scorch, has a really good affinities of a 2 and a 4 that he can do. So he can do Madstone Gem, and then he can do Drink the Spirits for that next set of points, and then you're going to want to upgrade one or the other, either the mana there or the energy damage there, whichever one you're wanting to go with more. If you think you need, you can kill stuff with your basic attack easier, what have you. Things like that to look out for. If that's not your first, which you can either do that or you can do that. Now, after you do upgrade your first card fully, then you're going to want to look for your mid-game stuff and what you need to be packing on. By this time, you can start turning the 3 points that you spent on tokens into stuff like doing the Madstone Gem and the Drink the Spirits combo for Urigian Scorch, things like that. Or you can take and look for your 6-point cards, and you're going to want to get something that's going to give you a passive or an active to use. So let's go with Muriel. Muriel has another affinity, really good passive of Satori Cloak. And that's going to be one of the mid-games that I'm talking about, where you're going to put it on, and by this time you started to build armor with her, and it's going to shred armor based on how much armor you have, and you're going to be doing more damage. You're going to want to look for actives and passives like that to start putting on depending on who you are. So you're going to have to take a look at your character and decide, okay, I have this character, what do I need that will make sure that I stay in fights longer, that I can outmaneuver, things like that, that I've got that added edge. And then you're going to want to do that with at least 2 cards. So your second card mid-game can be something smaller or just as large, something like a Thundercleave that when fully upgraded on a melee character will give you that AoE and that attack speed. That helps. You can start to, if you haven't upgraded the cards, all the cards that you put on, you can start to upgrade them. You can start to add that armor that you desperately need. Moving into late game, which is when you're going to put in your biggest cards. So if you want, say, a Hand of the Prophets, that's when you're going to start to be able to kill minions faster, especially the jungle minions. You're going to be able to kill those big 3-level buff camps faster and be able to get that stuff like that. So that's going to give you Hand of the Prophets is going to give you something that's already fully upgraded, basically. But you can put on something and upgrade it really quickly, say a Scarab Claws or, what have you. You're going to look for what can push you over the top. So what's going to be your final build objective? And that's something you really need to have in mind too. I start out with an objective and go, say, I'm Grux. Okay, my objective wants to be bleed damage. So I look at all the cards that I have that are bleed, and I put those in my deck first. And then I say, okay, this one I'm going to put early game, and this one I'm going to put mid game, and this one I'm going to put late game, and help me out to really stack on that bleed damage, couple that bleed damage as much as I can. And, have an objective in mind, what I'm going to do with that bleed damage. Or, what I'm going to do with my character and what the end goal is going to be. Now, you don't have to have 6 cards just because there are 6 equipment slots. You don't have to have 6 equipments. If you end up spending all 60 points on 5 cards or 4 cards, for instance, I have my Archmages, and I only have 5 cards there, and I've spent all my points. But you're going to want to have a end goal in mind when you're building it. So it's going to look something like this. We'll go with again Scorched. And you're going to put on your barrier token and your cast token and your guard token is what I would put on. And then your second card, I would put on Chronomancer Disc, and then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to fully upgrade it with 2 mana and a cast. Boom. And then you're going to go Madstone Gem, and Drink the Spirits. Now that's going to be your next 6 points. Now you're into mid-game. So you may have taken off these 3 to put on that Drink the Spirits, because now you've got the ability to turn that firepower that you're getting from those turrets into health back for you, so you really don't need that damage, or that damage blocking so much, because hopefully you're not getting touched. That is the objective with Against Scorch. Stay in your fire, don't get touched as much, don't get ganked as much. And I did put on a cast token because I wanted to clear waves of minions. I could have substituted that with these ward as instead, help me not to get ganked, but I did have on those tokens. I felt that the tokens were going to give me that damage in case I did end up getting into a scuffle. Then I'm going to look, what do I need? Well, I want to be able to use my abilities as much as possible without having to be out of mana. So I'm going to put on something that gives me that mana that I need. So I'm going to go over here and hit that. And that's going to be, when it's yellow, it's going to put only the cards excuse me, only the cards that have the ability to upgrade the max mana in the thing. Now, I forgot I have Drink the Spirits on, so I think I'm going to upgrade that with 3/3/3. And I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to upgrade this with a cast and 2 kinetics. Now, you want to be keeping track of your points, and you want to make sure that your end goal is at 60. That your ending amount is at 60. You don't have 59, you don't have 61, because 60 is your cap. If you have to go the full distance and go to level 15 with 60 card points, you want to be able to use every single card point and have everything upgraded as it should be. So you don't want to have, like, say, a Chronomancer disc on that has that fully upgraded bonus, and then you don't have a card to fully upgrade it on. You don't want to run into that problem. So I'm going to be keeping track of the numbers. I usually use a calculator because I'm lazy. Sometimes I do it in my head, but it's nice to have a calculator. Now I can put on Stinger buff, boost, and while carrying the blue buff, I'm going to gain more attack speed. I'm going to try and get that blue buff. Hopefully the junglers are working with me, so I'm going to put that on. And then I'm actually going to upgrade it. Or, you know, maybe I'm not. Alright. So it looks like I had to do that, because I'm out of cards, and sometimes that's how it has to be. Now I see that I can do Circlet of Health. Grants 4.2 health regen to nearby allies as well as myself. I'm getting that mana, so I do think I want that, but I'm not going to upgrade it. And that's the extra 3 points that I didn't spend on the Stinger boost. Now I'm going to clear the filter, and I'm going to go with a big card because I need something to do late game, and my last equipment. And I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the Necro Veil. And when I kill something, actually when I kill a player, I'm going to be able to dip into the Shadow Plane. And I want that energy penetration on. So I'm going to put 3, 6, 9. Now I haven't been keeping track, so I don't know if that's 60 or not. But it's going to look something like that. There are 40 cards, so you have the ability to put multiple cards in the deck. Say, give you an example real quick. Sevarog. And say I put on Bone Spike Plate. But I'm not sure whether I need the Strike or the Guard, and what situation I'm going to need the Strike and the Guard, because, you know, I can upgrade both, give me that physical damage at the end. So I put on, you have the ability to put on 6 cards on any equipment. So you want to remember that. I can put on 6 cards on any equipment. Now, I can decide, hey, I want all Strike this game, I want all Guard this game, or maybe I want a mixture. You know, give yourself some variety there as well. On our Aegean Scorch build, maybe we don't want to put mana on there one time, so we don't. Maybe one time we do, and we put the mana elsewhere. Or, you know, we want energy penetration one time, or cast the next. You get the idea. So they give you that room. You're usually only going to need between 20 and 30 cards realistically in your deck. However, there is that buffer of 10 more cards, and don't be afraid to use it. Also, keep track of where you want things to be, because, you know, you don't want it to put 40 cards and then be like, oh, what, you know, what do I want to do? Where do I want to put things? Now, they did upgrade it very early on so that you could attach things directly to your equipment, and it makes it nice and easy. You just pop up in your equipment, click and go back into the battlefield. But say you're out of mana cards like I am, and you just don't have that advanced mana that you need, you can pop on the upgrades without attaching them to the equipment. And now, if I wanted to leave, where was it? If I wanted to leave Stinger Boost empty there, then I could decide, you know, okay, this time I want to put it on Stinger Boost, or this time I want to put it on Drink the Spirits. Now, neither of them have an upgraded bonus, so it really doesn't matter in this case. I could actually just attach it to the Drink the Spirits and be fine. But that is a very viable option if you're out of stuff, and you know, you might want to put it on two different things you don't know. So you're going to put it there. And that's basically it for building your decks. Have an end goal in mind. Make sure that you utilize ones all the way up to 6, or even 10s. Don't feel like you have to put in anything above a 4, and don't think that you have to only put in under 4. Just have an end goal in mind. Try and keep a theme about the deck. Something cohesive. Like, this deck's going to be all attack with, you know, some sustain in the attack. Or this is going to be all about bleed damage. This is going to be all about lifesteal. Have something in there. But keep in mind, not only the affinities, but the toolkits that you have to work with too. And try and, you know, make everything cohesive. And that's basically it. That's building a deck for any character. Now I'm going to get into the specifics about, you know, each character themselves, but that's pretty much the start, the basics. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, concerns, praises, drop me a line, comment section, subscribe, boom, let's do this. Alright.